How technology changed communication. It all started in 1996 when Stephanie, Krista, Aaliyah, Gianna, and I, Danny, were born. We were immediately immersed in technology with the use of the television. From Teletubbies to Barney, we were all entrapped by the magical essence of repetitive images in a box with sound. Next, we leaped into learning with Phonics Desk's Leapfrog learning device. Who would have thought that a talking pen could teach us how to read and write? Then we became obsessed with the use of our landlines to call our BFF Jill about the drama that went on during recess. And when we were in school, we would use those big box computers to play Oregon Trail until our fingers were about to fall off. In our free time at home, we would use AOL Instant Messenger, MySpace, and YouTube on our desktops while Mom was talking for hours on the phone. On the bus, riding home from school, we would sit in the back and listen to our MP3 players and iPods because that was the cool thing to do. Next was the monumental introduction of cell phones in our lives. We now have the capability of putting people on call waiting, talk to our friends whenever we want, and go to the mall without our moms because we just had to call and check in. From this point on, we would receive a newer and better phone every Christmas. It almost became an expectation. Laptops and tablets became a large part of our lives around this time as well, and soon after became a staple in everyday tasks. Social media was a must at this time and still is, just a short 4 years later. From Facebook, Instagram, and Snapchat to other various apps that allow us to connect with one another, we all have them. As we look back on our lives, we often think about how communication has changed with the evolution of technology. The transition didn't seem all that drastic as we were going through it, but now we can't help but think that we slowly grew out of touch with others. This is not to say that technology is bad, but that it has altered how we communicate with others. We believe technology was and is instrumental in our ability to acquire and retain information. Technology has allowed us to gain access to copious amounts of information at all hours of the day, but it has also drastically shortened our attention spans. We even look at children today and rarely see them function without technology because it has been a part of their everyday lives since birth. We like to think that we are much different from them, but we too are growing up in a world with ever-changing technology. Communicating with one another has been more about putting on a good face through social media than having meaningful conversations with others. Conversations now lack depth and encourage minimalism. We don't empathize, we sympathize with others because we have lost sight of how important some of those in-person conversations are. It has even come to the point where we see less of our friends and family and more of our phones and tablets. When did talking become texting? When did face-to-face communication become Facebook? When did feelings become emojis? When did we become silent?